Welcome to the Wisdom Channel. Bring love to the playground with Lisa Eve. Hi, I am Lisa Eve, here to help you reconnect with your inner wisdom, heal your heart, and live with more love and joy. Life isn't always easy, but what if it could feel lighter, more playful, and more you? In each episode, I'll share real talk, soul insight, and messages I'm guided to deliver. These are reminders of your power, your worth, and your ability to grow through anything. We'll explore self-love, spiritual connection, healing, and ways to bring more love into your everyday life. So let's take a breath, open your heart, and let's begin. Hey everybody, welcome back to another week of the Wisdom Channel. I'm Lisa Eve, but you know that already, or you'll see it on the screen. Anyway, thank you for being here with me again. And I have opened this show with my hand on my heart because it's what brings me back to center. I get excited and flustered about doing these shows. You know, it's kind of like before you go on stage to give a big presentation or you're in a meeting. And what do you do to relax when you're feeling nervous? What do you do? So for me, I put my hand on my heart. I close my eyes, and you can join me if you like. And I take a few deep breaths. So in through the nose and out through the mouth. Yay. It just helps us to calm down, to reconnect with our bodies, to have a moment of peace with ourselves. Yes, that is so needed right now. We have so many distractions in our lives that I think that most of us just forget to take time for ourselves. Have you ever taken time, like implicitly, say, I'm going to schedule today a block of time to go to the nearest park and just sit by a tree on a bench and just relax? When was the last time you actually scheduled that for yourself? So me touching my heart and taking a few breaths, that is my sitting on a bench or sitting at the beach or any time that I just need to come down back into myself. That's how I reconnect. And I'll probably invite you on the future episodes to do this with me. So we have a moment to just be with ourselves. Okay? So to start with today's show, aside from that, today's show is about the art of being you. You. It's about you. Okay, I talk a little bit about me on these shows so that you know I'm a real human being. And the art of being you is you are unique. You have your own gifts, you have your own talents, you have your own ways of being in the world. And when I say we, I'm talking about me and my spiritual team. And that's because we have there's like a lot going on. Okay, I'm being honest with you. All right. So I just wanted to say, like, you and your team have something that you want to bring through. Me and my team, we are saying that we see you. We see your light. We see your gifts. We see that you have so much to offer this world. And you've been hiding because you're scared. And it's totally understandable because this world is kind of crazy, isn't it? It's like, oh my God, what are we doing here, right? And you do, though, have a purpose. And that is the key of you and your art. And your art is different than everybody else's paintings. What you paint on your canvas is going to be different from everybody else's canvas. Okay? So when you're going out into the world and you see someone painting a beautiful canvas and you envy it or you're jealous of it because you haven't figured out what you want your canvas to look like yet, it's okay. It's okay for you to take your time to figure out what colors you want to put on your canvas. You know, you could try yellow or green or blue or anything that you resonate with, and then you might say, I don't want that. I don't like that color anymore. I used to wear black all the time for years, like only black. And I wore it because I thought it was protection. I think that somewhere along the path, someone told me that, and I took it on as I needed to be fearful, so I'd wear black to avoid things interacting with me. But then you learn different things on your path. And yes, white can be light and inviting and opening, but it's just a color, is my point. Like wherever you start with whichever color or resonates with you at a certain time in your life, just go with it. And then at some point, you might want to change the color. So eventually, I phased out of black. And it was just because I wanted more color in my life. I felt like I was ready for more color in my life. I was ready to stop being afraid and living in fear, like something was not going to go my way. You know, if I wore black, like everything was going to be okay. But that did happen, okay? Like I still had lessons I had to learn, even though I was feeling empowered wearing black. And then when I let go of some of my fears and I dropped the concern, I was able to let more life and color in. Um, so I just want to acknowledge you wherever you are with your canvas. That is all right. You will come into learning what is needed for you at your right time on your journey and your path. If you're in an all black phase right now, girl, boy, whoever you are, I get it. Okay. It's you. It's what you're doing right now. And if you love color and that's all you like to wear, do you. That's what I'm saying. It's like you can do who you are at any stage of your life because it's your life. So, what are you painting on your canvas now? On this day, at this stage of your life, what is it that you want to share publicly on your canvas? And maybe you have many canvases, right? Because as artists will know, you have canvases that are lined up in your closet or in your art studio. You have many. And it's not just one that maybe resonates with you, it's many. It's many different ways of expressing yourself on the canvas. Because some days we just want to paint all black and dark colors, muted colors, and other days we want to bring in the light colors and the whites and the pastels, you know, it just depends on your mood. And and that's where you're at. Okay, let the paint dry and let's move on to a new canvas. So I want to invite you and I want to ask you, what is it like for you to be you? Do you know? Like, we all have our own stories of what it was like for us to be raised in families or not by our parents. We were raised by grandparents or aunts and uncles, or maybe we were adopted. There's many ways that you have come up and were raised. Who were the people who raised you? What were their canvases like? Let's just take a moment here. Think about that. What was it like looking at the canvas of somebody else who wanted to maybe splash some of their colors onto your canvas, but you didn't want their colors on your canvas, but they thought that that's what you needed on your canvas, right? Like they thought that they knew what your canvas was supposed to look like. Even today, there are many people, I'm sure, that are splashing their colors on your canvas thinking that that's the way you're supposed to paint your canvas. But it's your canvas, isn't it? So what do you do? What do you do when someone puts their colors on your canvas and you don't like the way it looks? Think about it. Really just take a moment. Where do you go? What do you do? Do you rip your canvas apart? Don't do that. Don't rip your canvas apart. What if you just added the colors you like back on your canvas? Maybe put a little bit more water on your brush and just wipe it away. Okay? Just take your time and figure out, what do I want to put on my canvas now? Because I don't like the way it looks right now. It's your canvas. You can choose what you put on your canvas. It's the same thing with musicians. What are the notes that you are choosing for your music masterpiece? And do you like to play the piano, the drums, the violin, the saxophone, the clarinet, the flute? What instrument do you like? Do you like the guitar? It's your piece, and you get to decide how you want to play your music. Someone in the industry might say, no, we're going to do this for you. You're going to play these notes. These are going to be your lyrics. And you don't resonate with that. So what do you do? Do you go along with it? I mean, some of you might because it pays big money, but does it feel true to your heart? Does it feel in alignment with your body? And I know you know, because many people will, for the money, do things they don't want to do, but they want to make it. And if that's a way that you choose to live, go make it. And then figure out what works for you. Okay, go figure out what success means for you. And it might not end up the way you thought it would, but you probably still want to go for it. So go for it, because if that's what you're feeling called to do it. Then at least you can say you did it. And then you can check that off and move on to something new. Because isn't that what life is about? It's about doing new things. Just try it on. Okay. I've learned on my path that trying is not doing, because it's really not. It's like you're saying you're gonna I'm gonna try, but you really don't want to do it. And you're like, no, okay, I'll try it, but I'm not really gonna do it. Okay. Like if someone invites you to a party and you're like, yeah, I'll try, I'll be there, but you really don't want to go, you're not gonna do it. So my point is though, that wherever you are, you do you. You do something that feels right for you in that moment. And when we're kids, we want to do it all, or we think we can do it all. But why not? Why not try and do it all, right? Why not do it all? Why not say, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then decide, okay, I did it, I didn't like it, now I can go do something else. But you know, it'll stay on your to-do list. It will stay on your to-do list for a while until you do the check mark, until you cross it off, until you actually step in and do it. So if you're feeling called to do something a certain way, do it. Okay. And then you can figure out later if it was the right thing for you. You won't know though until you do it. Yeah. So where are you on your life path right now? What is bringing you joy at this moment in time? I woke up this morning and the energy was so dense and sticky, so sticky, so like heavy and dense, and I just really needed to move it. So something that I do in the mornings is I clap. I just clap my hands. And for some reason, it works. It helps to move energy, the energy around me, the energy that could be above me, in front of me, behind me. Whenever I feel like there's an overwhelming sense of energy around me, I clap. And I just listen to my intuition about how many times to clap. Or if I have a negative thought, I blow it. As soon as the negative thought comes in, I blow it because I don't want it to stay with me. Just let something else come in. And so this morning I woke up and I just had this heaviness of energy and I had to figure out what to do with it. And then I put on some music and I did some dancing and I got ready for the show. And when I'm doing the shows, I actually don't ever know what's going to come out, especially since I started doing these just myself and not with a guest. I'm honestly just being guided in the moment to share what is supposed to come through. And I'm just like giving over, like saying, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna trust that it's all gonna turn out okay. It feels okay, right? You still want to do things that feel okay for you, for yourself and for you. It's like if something comes through and it's like that doesn't feel so good, like the time that I decided or chose to be another woman. Yeah. I didn't want to say this, but it just came through. So, but being authentic has to do with being real with ourselves. So I'm here on air to publicly, no, I'm being serious now. Okay. I'm I'm publicly apologizing to all the women. And there's not a lot. It was just two, maybe three, just three. Okay. Yeah. No, four. There's four. If I'm being totally honest, there was four women who had boyfriends and I knew and I chose to sleep with those men. And so I publicly apologized to those women. And it was not the thing that I wanted to do in the moment. It didn't feel good. And I'm sharing this because there was someone around me who encouraged me, maybe not all the times, but there was definitely two times where it was like a person who wanted to put their colors on my canvas and encourage me to paint the same way they painted. And I knew in the moment it was wrong and I didn't want to. And somehow it was just more like a, what's the big deal? Like that was the push that I got from the person who was what I considered at the time a friend. So I'm sharing this with you because we all do make mistakes on our paths, things that we've done that don't feel good, that we wish we could have done differently. And That's definitely an area of my life I wish I had done differently, because I also have been cheated on and it does not feel good. And I feel like it's time that we come clean with ourselves in all the areas of our lives where we have done things that did not align with our canvases, who we know ourselves to be. And when we start to acknowledge instead of suppress the regret or resentment or fear or anger that we have towards another and also towards ourselves for the things that we've done that we did not like that we did, then we can start to clear the energy out of our bodies that has been stuck for millennia. And this is also just coming through as a message for myself and for you. And the more that we're able to acknowledge all the ways that we have been living out of alignment with ourselves and our canvases or uh, music sheets or whatever uh, artistry element you want to identify with, the more that we're able to be honest with ourselves is the more that we will be able to be clear with our bodies and heal ourselves from the inside. So this is not to say that you should go on a spree, um, righting all of your wrongs publicly on air as I'm doing. I'm just um, giving you a tool. There was a class that I took through Landmark Education. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. They offered personal growth classes, and in one of the classes, it was called the Incomplete Items Inventory. I did this many years ago, and basically, we're given a book, like a stack, huge book, binder, to go through all the areas of our life that are incomplete. And incomplete could mean we owe someone an apology like I just did, to go through all the areas of our lives where we had done something that was just not in integrity. And at the time, there was a gentleman who I had dated before that, but it was just something that came to mind. I dated a gentleman, he cheated on me, but during the time that he was cheating, which I knew intuitively, because we women, we know these things, I was going through his phone and his diary and looking like for all the evidence, right, to prove my point, even though intuitively I already knew this. But it was wrong. It was wrong for me to go through his personal stuff. Just like acknowledge, okay? Like I knew something was amiss in this relationship, and instead of staying in it and going through all of his stuff to prove, I should have just exited. And eventually, obviously, it didn't work out. But in that class, Incomplete Items Inventory, I found a way to connect with him and apologize. Okay. Now, he didn't apologize for cheating, but for me, from my own health and awareness, I felt better for acknowledging my part in that. So, again, it's how can we clear our own canvases so that we can paint fresh and not have maybe all the other colors already on the canvas. And yes, you can get a new canvas anytime and start fresh, but what are you going to paint on that canvas that you're already bringing with you from the past? So if it feels comfortable for you, doing an incomplete items inventory of your life may help you to heal. It's one of the ways that helps me. You can also do it if you're spiritual and you talk with your higher self. You can ask and always ask permission. You can ask your higher self to ask the higher self of the person who you want to apologize to or get complete with. If you can speak with them, and then intuitively you will know if it's a yes or no. sometimes there's a no, and you just honor that. But if you get a yes, then just speak honestly from your heart, because we are all made up of energy. So if you put out into the world energetically kind thoughts, loving thoughts, good feeling thoughts, like you really love somebody and you really want them to know that you love them, a lot of times they can just feel that. So that's a way for you to start healing your body, because we're holding on to a lot of things inside. There's a lot of people who live with regrets. They'll be at the end of their life or not even at the end of their lives, and they'll just have regret. And what do you do with those regrets in your body? Where in your body is the regret stored? Is it in your lungs, in the grief center? Is it you don't want to see the life that you're living? Are you having issues with your eyes? I mean, there's ways that our bodies will respond to the things that we're holding on to. And I feel many times that that has more to do with cancer instead of all the different things going on outside of ourselves. And yes, there's a lot of pollutants in the air, and there's a lot of things going on in the food that we're eating and in the water that we're drinking that is not healthy for us. And there are many ways in which ailments and illness and sickness can derive from external. And our feelings about it can contribute as well. Our anger that is not being handled or dissolved or uh, released in some way will stay stuck inside our bodies. And that's like the reason why I also don't drink alcohol anymore or do drugs anymore or drink Red Bull or coffee. I can't actually drink coffee because my heart kind of goes crazy, but the less that we suppress the feelings that we have, the more we can feel what our bodies actually need. So it's good to sometimes go on a diet, whether it's a diet of negative thoughts or negative feelings or suppression of anger, to see all the ways in which we are hiding out in our bodies and not allowing everything to surface in a way that allows us to deal with things. And maybe this week you could stop eating potatoes. And I'm not a registered dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm just sharing something personal. I decided to try, okay, become raw vegan at the start of last year. And in a class that I took with Dr. Aris Latham, please forgive me if I said your name wrong. He is the grandfather of raw gourmet food, pioneer. And he taught me that a potato or any type of starch is like very dense. And if you've ever seen starch, it's like a rock. It can be like a rock. It's hard. And so when we eat starchy foods, that's like in our intestines. And if we're not drinking enough liquid, enough water, or juice or something to flush it out constantly, that gets stuck on our intestinal walls. And at the time, I had a varicose vein that was popping and in my leg, and it was really painful. Constantly, all day, every day, I'd be doing qigong to tap it out, but it was not working. And from January of this year, I stopped eating potatoes, and voila, my varicose vein subsided. I don't have the pain. And I only notice that it will change when I eat starchy foods. So again, I'm inviting you to maybe stop eating certain foods that could contribute. And that's what's worked for me. I lost a lot of weight when I became raw vegan, like more than I feel comfortable with. But I've also seen changes in my body that I really like. So I'm again asking you to look at what's on your canvas. What do you want to put on your canvas? It's not a matter of judging other people for what they have. If you're unwilling to look at yourself and determine what it is that works for you. And with all of this talking, I'm going to take a quick break now. Thank you for listening and thank you for tuning in. I'll be back in a moment. Hey everybody, it's Lisa Eve, and I'm back with the Wisdom Channel on Transformation Talk Radio. Welcome back. It's so nice to have you here with me today. So we're back, and I wanted to share. There's a little birdie that has been sitting outside on my balcony. Okay, so I live in South Florida at the moment, and I have a balcony, and there's like a little drain hole, like a square drain hole. And there's a little tiny bird that's been sitting in the drain hole since I got up this morning. Like it came to sit at my table to eat breakfast, and I have a window. And I just looked over, and there's a cute little birdie sitting there, and it's been there for hours. And I'm like, oh, thank you for the gift, spirit. But maybe it's just my spirit sitting in a bird, like joining me on this hour. Well, most likely it'll be an hour show. And I was just like, I can't believe it's still there. I don't know if it took a nap or what's going on, but I just feel like it's a gift. And that leads me to ask you, what are the gifts that you're seeing in your life right now? Because there's gifts all around us. And for me, when I see cute little birds, and it's just like looking around right now, but still like hanging on, hanging around. When we see gifts that kind of light us up and give us joy, they're everywhere. Like when you start to notice them, it's like, what is the gift that's showing up in your life today? And maybe the gift is that you woke up today. Maybe the gift is that you rolled over and you saw your husband or your wife and your partner or whoever that is. Maybe it's just your boyfriend. Maybe it's a friend. You know, maybe you're waking up by yourself today and you're like, "Ah, I love sleeping by myself." And I'll be honest, I do. I like sleeping by myself. I've lived by myself for a long time, but I digress. Anyway, my point is that there are gifts all around us all the time. Um, Sometimes it's a rainbow. I like to walk in my neighborhood, and there was one time that I was walking and I just looked up and there was a rainbow. And there's so many times though that we're always looking down at our phones and we don't see the rainbow that's right in front of us. And there was a couple that was walking towards me, and I just let them know, I'm like, oh, look, there's a rainbow. I'm like, oh my God, it's so pretty. And they took out their phones and they took a picture, but how often are we looking down and not noticing the gifts that are all around us all the time? And that's an invitation I have for you today to look at all the gifts that are around you right now, all the magic that is happening around us right now. Even though there's some crazy stuff going on in the world right now. We can always find things around us that are magical, that are gifts, that are joyous little droppings in our lives. Like this bird, it's still there. It's like looking around. I don't know what it's doing. Is it sleeping? I don't know what's going on, but but I think it's just so sweet that I have a bird that's accompanying me on this podcast this morning. Cute little bird. So, what is the gift that you woke up to in your life today? Because I'm sure you have one. You all have one. And look at what the gift is. What is the magic that is showing up in your life on a daily basis? Look for the gifts. Look for the joy. Look for the things that just pop in and you're like, oh, that felt so nice. It could be a hug, and it's something maybe you want to linger in a little longer. If the person feels weird about it, who cares? Enjoy the hug, okay? Do the things that feel joyous for you. And if you want to put on some music and dance around like you haven't danced in a long time, go do that. There's always something to be joyous and grateful, and there's always gifts around. And the bird, sorry, I got distracted because the bird just popped out. I'm focused with you, I really am. But I just wanted to say the bird is now on the balcony. It's like coming out of its shelter. It just fixed its wings. I'm sure there's a reason for this. It's an alignment. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Ah, oh my God. It's trying to get in and it just flew into all my windows. Part of me was like, I want to go open the door, but I don't think I want to do that. Okay. But I don't want the bird to fly into the window. That is not good. I had just had like my heart sank a little bit. Okay. You can tell this is a live show, right? I got distracted for a minute because the bird just flew into all the windows. I don't know if you could hear it. Okay, I'm coming back. I'm coming back to the show. Sorry about that. So the magic is I saw the bird. Part that wasn't magical is when the bird flew into all the windows. That was sad. Okay, but still a really sweet little bird. And still we can find the gifts and the joys in our everyday lives. And just gonna take a moment, send a little bit of love to the bird. Oh, and there's like a turkey vulture flying around outside too. Go back to your little cubby hole. Okay, sorry. Okay, but this is life, right? So we shelter. I'm just gonna align this. We shelter and we hide and we feel safe. And then we decide to come out and we might bump and bruise ourselves. And then we get our bearings again. The bird is just sitting. I have like a lanai chair, just sitting on the chair, just maybe gathering itself, trying to figure out what to do next because the things that look like it was clear and ready to go through, it could not go through. How can we apply this to our own lives? What is the mirror right now? Okay, so the bird is still alive and it will find its way. It will fly over the railing and not through the glass or not into the glass again. It will figure it out. And you too will figure out your path. You will figure out your path. You will figure out what is your art that you want to display. You will figure out how you want to paint your canvas or play your musical piece. You will figure out what is authentically you and how you want to heal. You will figure out what is in alignment and resonates for you above all else and other people's opinions of you. People talk about me all the time, and they say things to my face that I don't have words for. And then at the same time, the next day, because in the moment, it's hard for me, I've found that it's hard for me to say in the moment exactly what I'm thinking in the moment. I'm working on that. The next day, though, when I mull over everything that's happened, it just gives me a moment to pause and be like, no, 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 I did not agree with those colors that they tried to pour onto my canvas, that they wanted to muddle on my canvas. They thought that I needed to see their colors on my canvas. That didn't work for me. And that's when I speak up. And that's when I say something in response that honors me and honors how I feel in the moment. So I invite you to do the same. If someone says something to you that does not align for you, you can take a moment and pause. And don't feel ashamed for not having a comeback right in the moment. Okay? How many times does that happen where you just want to go right back at them? Just just be you and take a moment. Put your hand, sorry, I want to block the mic. Put your hand on your heart and take a few breaths here. Just come back. Bring compassion to yourself. Align with you. And from that place of compassion, you'll know exactly what to say to the person that you feel wronged you or said something that you didn't like or misjudged you. How many people judge you all the time and they're incorrect in their judgments? Because nobody has walked in the shoes of another. No one. Even if intuitively you can pick up on what someone else has been through, we all truly do not know what it is like to live someone else's life and what they've been through. We don't know why they are doing the things that they are doing. So be compassionate with yourself first, and then see if you can have and extend that compassion for others. And if you don't want to extend that compassion towards others right now, that is agreeable, understandable, and you need to do what is right for you. And if you want to tell them to F off or go fly or whatever to do, and that feels right for you in the moment, you will do that. Because maybe that's how your canvas wants to be painted in this moment. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for joining me for this almost hour. And thank you for listening to yourself, whatever that looks like. Maybe you'll judge yourself less today. Maybe you will kick off your new shoes and go play in the grass today. Maybe you'll look up more today than at your phone and looking down. Maybe you'll judge someone else less today. Maybe you will go fly a kite today. Maybe you'll go swim in the sea today. Maybe you'll play a new instrument today. Whatever you choose to do and however you choose to be today is your path for this moment in time. And remember, you can always change your canvas. Thank you for joining me today. And also, again, I apologize. I apologize to all of my exes. Yep, we're doing this. I apologize to all my exes who I wanted to make more like me, who I judged for not being me. I I apologize for not giving some men a chance or being more curious about their paths and instead judged them and decided not to be with them based on my judgments. And again, though, I do have intuition. I'm just saying, like, we intuitively know when a man is not the right person for us or our partner is not the right person for us. We know. And still, we could also be maybe less judgmental. So I apologize to all the men who I judged as not being right for me. There are other ways that I could have handled the endings, and I apologize for that. And to all the women who I may have done dirty as friends, I apologize to you, and I apologize for sleeping with your man when you judged me or talked bad about me. And as a way to get you back, I thought, I will do this because how dare you talk about me behind my back the way you did. But I never felt good about it in the moment, and I'm sorry I did that. And I'm sorry to all the friends who just are not friends anymore. We come into each other's lives for a reason, and you probably served your purpose, and I've served mine, and we've learned and we've moved on. And in general, though, for anyone who I've hurt on my path, I'm deeply and I am truly and authentically sorry for any and all in the ways that I have harmed you, hurt you, or made you angry, and something happened that created a rift between us. It was never my intention to hurt you the way I did. And then at the same time, we have our paths to live. So not to cancel anything out, I'm just saying that, like, yes, the path is that we're supposed to learn from each other. And you came on my path for a reason, and I came on your path for a reason. And whether or not we're friends anymore, it's in the past. And at the same time, if I hurt you, I'm sorry. And since this is the authenticity episode, this is what needed to come through today. And that's what it is. So maybe a little bit of an embarrassment right now. And at the same time, I know that it needed to get said before I could consciously create a clean slate, a clean canvas for me to move forward with this podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. The bird is still sitting on my lanai chair. I'm probably going to go outside and see if it needs a little help. And yeah, I am on this podcast, the Wisdom Channel. Bring love to the playground, because we need to bring more love to ourselves and to this playground we call life. And thank you for joining me today. Every second and fourth Thursday of every month at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Maldives time. Thank you, and see you soon. I am Lisa Eve. Thank you for listening to the Wisdom Channel. Bring love to the playground, airing every second and fourth Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. Remember, self-love is the foundation of your happiness, so take one small step today to nurture your beautiful self. To go deeper on your healing and self-discovery journey, pick up my book, The Love Channel, Finding Your Way to Happiness, available now on Amazon. And for daily inspiration and uplifting content, visit thehappychannel.com. Until next time, keep your heart open, walk your path with love, and never forget, you have the power to heal.